Hey guys, so we are going to continue with our exploration of transformations. Today we're going to focus on reflections. And I know you all have heard the word reflection before, so this one will actually be probably pretty intuitive. So a reflection in the world of geometry is basically a mirror image of a figure. Again, sorry, my handwriting looks like I'm in 5th grade. Alright, mirror image of a figure across a given line. Okay, and that's the important part, which you'll see in just a second here. So, as you can see in the example, right, remember prime notation, this left image is the original one, and the right side image, which has the apostrophes, so those are prime notation right there. That means that this one is a reflection of the other one. Now this line of reflection is really the main piece of information you need in order to do a proper reflection yourself. So this line right over here, okay, this one that they have in red already, is a line at x equals -2. Okay, and the reason it's x equals -2 is because it's a line that's going through, like straight up and down, through the x-axis at -2. Alright, so that's why it's at x equals -2, right? It's the x-axis and it's at -2. So that's really the key information you need, okay, in order to do a reflection. You need the line of reflection. That's what that's called. Okay, so let's try some practice problems. And actually, before we do that, I want you guys to note, and I think this is like probably obvious, but I want to point it out anyway. Notice how every point and its like mirrored version is the same distance away from the line, right? So C is 1 unit away, 1 square, and so is C prime, right? A is 3 units away. Let's do it this way. A is 3 units away, and so is A prime, right? So that distance is something you have to maintain as you do reflections. So let's take a look down here. We want to reflect this shape across line y equals 1. Now remember, up here, my line was x equals, and it was up and down, right? Because it was on the x-axis at -2. So this one, similar idea, right? This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So for y equals 1, we're going to go ahead and draw our line of reflection at 1 on the y-axis. All right, so now that we have our line of reflection, okay, we're going to go ahead and mirror all the points over here to the other side as we need to. So what we're going to do is we'll start with point A. This point is 1, 2 units away from the line of reflection. So we're just going to keep going straight down in the opposite direction, another 2 points, and that's going to be my new reflected image. Okay, and this is going to be A prime, because it's our new A point. Right, similarly to B, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points away, so we're going to keep going in the other direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is where my B prime should be. Okay, now for C, C is 1, 2, it's 2 away, and so I'm going to count 1, 2 again, and put my point C prime there. Alright, now for D. Now D is a little interesting because it's actually on the other side of the line, and that is okay, because all we need to still do is count how far D is from the line. It's just that this time we have to move up, right? So we move up 1. So since D is 1 unit away from the line, we're going to move 1 in the other direction and call it D prime. Okay, don't get freaked out by the fact that it's like past the line. Okay, it's the same thing. You just have to count how far it is away and go that same amount in the other direction. So now that I've done all of my points, I can draw my final shape. I'm going to try my best to draw these here. Remember, my drawings are always a little bit questionable on this. Oops, okay, there we go. Almost. All right, there we go. That's our final reflected shape. And, you know, you can check to see if the answer is right? It should look like a reflection. If something looks a little off, then you know that something went wrong. All right. So number 2. Now we have this new shape, and we need to reflect it over the x-axis. This right here, as you guys know from Algebra 1, is the x-axis. That's the most common line of reflection, is the axes. So we're going to do the same process. A is 1, 2 away, right? So we're going to go 1, 2 the other direction, and that's where we'll place A prime. All right, again, point B, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that direction. B prime. Okay, point C, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we'll go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our new point C. All right, last one. D goes 1, 2, 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. Oops. Right over there. And now I can draw my final figure. That's kind of ugly. All right, we have one last one, and it's going to be triangle bag. So we got point B here. Just kidding, we should probably draw the line of reflection first. It's the x-axis. Sorry, y-axis. Jeez, what's happening to me? So this is the y-axis, right? The up and down one is the y-axis, whereas the horizontal was the x. So now I can go ahead and get started. B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this direction. That's going to be my point B prime. All right. Point A is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so 1, 2, 3, 4 here. A prime. And last but certainly not least, we have G, 1 away, it's just 1, and so we'll go 1 this direction. That's our G prime. Okay, and now I can draw my reflected shape. Please note that these prime, this prime notation is important, so I know which is which. And that's all. Now we have reflected all 3 of these shapes.